Well, in the yin flow right now, we've been doing the chakras, and I don't know, this lighting's not very good. It looks like I'm wearing navy, but it's more of an indigo blue. And this is for the sixth chakra. We've been moving up the ladder, and this is the one we're on now. The element is light, the note is A, and the kind of mantra is Om. So the symbol for the third eye, mind's eye, all-seeing eye, is two petals of a lotus. And then in the middle of the lotus is a triangle pointed downward. And the triangle that points downward is about the divine nectar moving down to nourish the inner lotuses. And then, of course, it has the symbol of Om. So this turns our insight, our foresight, our perception, our perspectives, our imagination, our dreams, our fantasies, anything that we envision, but most importantly, our intuition. Now, the higher sacred truth for this particular energy field is seek divine truth. And that seeking is through discernment when the head and the heart are in harmony together. Whenever we're ungrounded, we're not abiding in the heart. And when we're not abiding in the body or the heart, these upper wheels or chakras are spinning out of control. So when the mind is just nonstop, it's very, very difficult to be able to turn that noise down in order to really hear what the intuition has to say. So one thing that we can do to create more of a balance in this energy field is to make time through your or weeks to get quiet, to move inward, and to really be present. And then the more you can implement that, in little junctures, it's really helpful. In the sunlight, even at different points of the day, can be a nice stimulus for this particular energy field. And meditating is the perfect way because that's already quieting the mind and allowing you to be present. Setting your drishti here, and the way I like to describe it is instead of going cross-eyed, trying to look up to that point, it's almost as if you're looking off into the distance at the horizon. And so you don't have to strain your eyes to do it. Anything else I want to say? Oh, Agna is the Sanskrit term, and it's oh, the knowledge from the lotus is what it translates to. All right, so with that in mind, we're going to be doing specific poses today that are good for this energy center. And we are going to start on the mat. Now, I don't know if you see behind me, I do have a blanket. I'm going to use that for my knees today, especially in the first couple of poses. A bolster I'm planning on using towards the end, and we do need at least one block, but have two available just in case. So we're going to start in child's pose. So if you want to have your knees on the blanket, we're going to have the knees kind of knit more together so that we can start off in the traditional form, which means the palms are open at the feet, we're rolling over the lap, and we're resting on the brow. Now continue to rest on the brow while I speak to you. In child's pose, this is a slight inversion. And really any inversion is going to be good for this particular chakra, but especially the ones that have kind of an angle to them. So you might notice your heart slightly elevated over your head. And this point where we're resting is considered a marma point, which is the yogic term for what Chinese medicine calls an acupressure point. I mention this often. This is a great way to stimulate the third eye, but it's also a great way to invite in some inner peace. So go ahead and begin to develop some deep yogic breaths. Breathing in, breathing out through the nose. And allow these diaphragmatic breaths to help you to ground into your body. To become more present in this now moment. Consider whether or not you have been tuned in into your intuition as of late. Because these energy centers are more subtle, but also very substantial. Look at intuition as being your inner GPS system that will never steer you wrong. And you even want to apply that here on the mat when we work in and out of these poses. Now on your next inhale, let's go ahead and stretch the arms out in front of us. Lift your face up and walk the hands further down the length of your mat. Keep the elbows off the floor, but then barely bow your head so that the ears are lining up with the upper arm bones. Feel the traction you're receiving in your back, the openness in between each vertebra. That deep stretch under the arms and into the pit of the arms, which helps open up the lung, heart, and pericardial meridians. From extended child's pose, inhale, rock up. Tuck your toes under. And start to track your hands back so they're lining up perfectly underneath your shoulders. Now your toes are tucked and you're pressing into your feet. If you need to stay here, then remain. If you can rock the hips back towards your heels, do that. Walk your hands a little closer into your body. So you can keep that first form, you can maintain the second form, or you can slowly stack your hands to your thighs and the head over the shoulders over the hips for Thai goddess. Now, this is not meant to be torturous, even though sometimes it feels that way. If you need to lean forward a little bit, do that. In fact, I am, because this is the second time I've done it today. So at the edge of the toes, where we're feeling this deep pressure, if you look at reflexology, this will help with reducing tension in the neck region, but it also helps to help allergies and sinuses. And I'm thinking about that for the face right now, since some of the face, the prefrontal lobe, is governed by the third eye. All right, now let's go ahead and walk the hands down. Let's keep the toes curled. We're going to extend the arms back out in front and bow the head. This pose is sometimes referred to as Mecca, and it makes sense when you think about how anyone who follows Islam, anyone of the Muslim faith, rolls out their prayer rug and can be seen in this position. As yogis, this is what our yoga mat represents. And these poses provide a physical prayer. Now, the third eye allows us to tap into that which is magical and mystical. It can help not only connect us to our higher self, but the angelic realm. People who gain things like psychic abilities, mediumship, clairvoyance, telepathy, all of this is from opening the third eye. All right, we're going to go ahead and slowly rock forward. Stack your hands just a baby step beyond your shoulders. And this is going to be weird at first, but I promise it gets better. Once you elevate your knees and fly the hips back to downward facing dog, there'll be a point where the toes are like, oh my goodness. But then when you get to the patting of the foot, it will give you that sense of relief. Press into the hands and the feet and shine up high through your seats. Maintaining your breathing. And remembering this is an ideal pose for the third eye. So child's pose, downward facing dog, downward scorpion, dolphin pose, anything that gives us this diagonal line so that things are flowing with gravity towards the face, specifically the brow. Now walk the hands in towards the feet. Land your heels. And keep your legs stacked and straight initially. Slide your hands and prop them onto your shin bones. Straighten your arms, lengthen out through the vertebrae, but you're also going to lift your head up. And we're going to do a little eye yoga here. So lift your gaze as though you're trying to look up towards your hair. And that's going to be 12. Now take the eyes to 1, to 2, to 3, to 4, to 5, 6 is looking down towards the tip of the nose, to 7, to 8, to 9, 10, 11, back to 12, and then let's fold back in. Now this time we're going to relax and soften the knees. Take a hold of your elbows or forearms. Let go in your neck. So again, any inversion is going to be good for the third eye. Even these where the crown is more or less facing the ground. It's also good for that crown chakra that we'll talk about next week. All of these energy centers feed into one another. And so if we're really listening to our intuition, and if we're allowing it to light our way, then we'll be trusting that and taking the proper steps in the direction we're meant to go. Now, hopefully, that blanket's there right underneath you, so you can send it away. Because now we're going to walk the hands meditationally one at a time down the mat until we come to plank. So obviously plank is an active and strengthening pose. Keep pressing the floor away from you with your hands to fill in the gap between the shoulder blades. Now rock forward, lower down to chaturanga. Let's go to the vinyasa. Inhale, open your heart, throat, look up. Exhale, curl the toes, roll back, down dog. Now from downward facing dog, let's go ahead and travel the feet to the top of the mat. When the feet come together at the top, slide your hands up your shins. Prop up, gaze up towards 12. And this time we're gonna work around the clock the other way. So from 12, take it to 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6 at the nose, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, back to 12, and bow out. From Uttanasana, inhale, sweep the arms to your sides and up overhead. Let your palms come together and look up to Hasta Drishti. Lift through your side body. Feel the activity in your upper back. And then bring the thumbs behind your neck. Roll the elbows in toward your temples. Push up through the base ribs. Lean your head back into your hands. And breathe up into your heart. Looking up with your eyes. The lotus always needs to be rooted. If it's not, there's that expression, no mud, no lotus. So think about grounding down into your feet with the blue lotus blooming at the brow. And allowing the head to harmonize with the heart. Inhale, reach the palms up. Exhale, swan dive back in. Uttanasana. All right, from here, inhale, step back, plank. Hold in plank. And then exhale, push back, downward facing dog. From Adho Mukha Svanasana, take a deep breath in. As you exhale, we're going to come back to the knees, untuck the toes, and we're going to move towards puppy. So puppy pose is where the hands reach out in front of us. We're still maintaining the diagonal line from the wrist to the shoulders, from the shoulders to the hips. So we're not sinking or sagging downward. The belly's hugging in. The ears remain in line with the upper arm bones, and you're looking down. From the active, let's surrender to the passive. So take a deep breath in. Exhale, breathe it out from the mouth. And this time you're gonna bow the back. And for today, let's rest on the brow. The elbows can land. Anahatasana, melting heart. If one or another shoulder gives you a little grief, you can always slide and prop it underneath your head like this. So on your next in breath, lift the face, walk the forearms in, elbows line up underneath the shoulders. And we're going to do 6 cat cows here. So as you inhale, drop and sink the belly, lift the top of the head. And as you exhale, scoop in through the belly, round the back, and bow the head. Inhale to cow. Exhale to cat. Let's do 4 more. After doing all 6 of those, just crawl the forearms in front of you so that you can land to the top of your thighs, the lower band of the belly. And we're going to do the yin form. So separate your feet out, rock your hips from side to side. Now, there is a way to do this with the block, where the block can come in and you can rest your head here. You can also hang the head freely. And if that's too much for your low back, you can walk your arms out in front and rest in prayer hands. This is the one I'm going to do today, but you can do another. Close your eyes. Continue to breathe and be contemplative on the center. Just think for a moment how we've all been conditioned and programmed to a certain degree. And sometimes our own emotions, the world, can taint the mind, which is why it's important to cleanse the lens. Even using the biblical reference that said, if thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be filled with light. Your next out breath, let's roll down and push the hands up underneath the shoulders, draw the feet closer together to lift to tail. And we're coming back down to the forearms. We're going to lace the hands up and we're going to puff into the upper back a little bit, curling the toes and lifting back to dolphin, Makarasana. On your exhale, come down to your knees, come back to the palms of the hands, return to downward facing dog. Now from down dog, we're going to lift the left leg up, but we're going to go towards downward scorpion once we're in it. As we exhale, we're going to bring the left shin to the top of the mat. Now, if you need deer pose as an alternative, just sink onto your left hip, slide your right knee up, and you can lower here. You can even use a prop or a bolster. If you're going to do the swan with me, similar to pigeon, the knee is facing the left side of the mat. And we're just going to take our time assessing if this is going to work out. If not, do deer. You can also flip to your back, left ankle over the right knee. And then we'll walk it slowly out in front of us. Again, you can stack to prayer hands, or you can bow the head down. Take 3 deep breaths. Let the breath minimize. And consider how, as we're opening the hips govern the creative life force energy. And when we're centered at the brow, this is the place where we can envision what we want to co-create. So I'm going to give you some quiet moments here to do just that. I'm going to give you some different directions dependent upon which position you're in. If you are joining me in this variation of swan, you're going to rest your right forearm in front of you and you're going to twist to your left, propping your left hand on the waist. If you are in deer pose, you're going to come up to sit and you're going to twist to the left in this manner. If you chose to come down to your back, let's say you're here with the left ankle on top, you're going to lower the knees to the left and have your arms out. So we'll all have a different variation of a twist dependent upon how you were opening the hips. Let's unwind from that. And if you're on your back, you may want to join us for the down dog. We'll plant the palms, we'll curl the back toes, and return to downward facing dog for this inversion. And then we'll take it to the other side by elevating the right leg up. Scissor, downward scorpion. Unroll. Bring the right shin up. Slide the left leg back. Test it out here. Right? And if you need deer, don't be so grand in that stretch. And then if this still isn't great for your knees, flip to your back, right ankle over the left knee. And then sometimes it's nice to stay taller in this position. Sometimes you feel the need to lower. But just again, test the waters, each side unique. This is time to envision what you want to co-create. Maybe you have new ideas about how to do landscaping around your house. Maybe you want to get some new decorative pillows to bring in a pop of color in one of your rooms in your home. Maybe you're trying to design a planned vacation. Maybe you're wanting to create a new schedule. Maybe it's just creating a more harmonious relationship with yourself or a deeper relationship with the divine. Right? So remember, dependent on your position is going to change up where you do the twist. So if you want to be in this same position for your hips, you're going to lower your left forearm down and twist to the right. If you were in deer, bring your torso up and walk your hands over towards your right side. And if you had your right ankle over the left knee, you're going to lower the knees to the right and splay your arms apart. So I actually landed in this one and I can tell I need it, so I'm not going to go back to the other twist. And then whichever direction you took your twist, we're going to slowly exit out. Sorry, I felt that one coming. We're going to use a block. And you're going to take it in between your ankles and you're going to sit on top. Now, earlier we started with toes tucked. Now we're on the top portions of the feet. All right, we're going to bring the hands to prayer. As we inhale, come to standing Vajrasana. As you exhale, hands together, lean the head back, diamond. As you inhale, bring the thumbs to the third eye. Our gateway to the cosmos. Then exhale, bring your seat down, hands to heart. We're going to do that 2 more times. Inhale, standing Vajrasana. Exhale, diamond. Inhale, hands to brow. Exhale, sit down, hands to heart. We'll do 1 more. Inhale, standing Vajrasana. Exhale, diamond. Inhale, thumbs to third eye. And then exhale, sit back, hands to heart. right, we're going to use the same block in just a moment. So have it next to you and have your legs out in front. Reach the arms overhead. Exhale, you're going to pour down. Now I want you to notice in the yin form where we're pouring the head down and we're rounding the back, that's going to make everything kind of drip in the direction of the third eye. Let's hold 6 more breaths. Turn your palms down. Slowly come up. All right, block time. Bending the knees. Tucking and lifting. Supported bridge. In the supported bridge, we're going to go ahead and lift the left leg up. Point the toes and breathe in. Wait for the exhale to flex the ankle and breathe out. Inhale, point and hold. Exhale, flex and hold. Inhale, point and hold. Exhale, flex the ankle and hold. Coming out of that elephant pose, descending the left foot. You may even feel some effect there. And then pick up the right side, point the toes. Breathing in. Breathing out, flex the ankle. So it's not just a body mechanic going back and forth. I see that a lot at the studio. It's very slow and methodical. Inhale, point. Hold until you're ready to breathe out. And then as you exhale, flex and hold. Inhale, point and hold. Exhale, flex and hold. Now lower the right foot. 6 full deep breaths. Turn the knees out, bring the feet together. this hurts for whatever reason, please don't stay in it. You can come back to supported bridge. 6 more deep breaths. Inhale, lift the knees up. Press into the feet once you separate them out. Send the block away. And once you lower, tuck your knees in, reset your back. Let's roll to one side. And we're going to set up for Shavasana. So if you want to create a slide with 2 blocks, you can. Only have one in hand's reach. So I'm going to do it with 1 block. Like that. And I'm going to cover back up because I'm getting a little chilled. Since this is the place for visions and imagery and mental clarity, we're going to do a little guided imagery for Shavasana. Take your time settling into the pose of your choice. Perhaps going with the suggestion of a slight inversion to allow things to trickle towards this powerful center of the blue-gray light. Then I want you to imagine there's a spotlight shining upon your forehead. It's indigo blue. It's filling up your head, your face, moving down the astral spine, branching out and radiating throughout your body. Breathing it up into the face, all the way down into your feet. And if you find that the awareness is surfing the wave of the breath, feel free to turn this light to liquid as if it were like ocean waves, rolling up on the inhale and down on the exhale. Now that you've been picturing this imagery of the blue ray light or rolling waves of blue, I want you to picture at the center of your head where the pineal gland sits. Imagine it being like a perfectly cut diamond, a blue diamond. Allow the light to reflect into shimmer from this blue diamond. Let's take 6 deep breaths. Of course, if you feel like hanging out here for a longer duration, feel free. If you're ready to move on, stretch your arms overhead. Exhale, tuck the knees in. Roll off to one side. And then I want us to end chanting Om, since that is the seed mantra. So we'll have the hands to prayer. Inhale, arms circle up. Exhale, Om it down to the heart. Om. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Namaste.